More use of artificial intelligence with each passing day, but how much thought is going into the impacts that could have on humans? There's a team of transatlantic researchers, including two from the University of Michigan, that are looking at that very information. We're joined now by one of those researchers who's here to talk to us about what they found.
We argue that basically AI is a little bit different than past automation, where past automation didn't necessarily completely remove the human. In many cases, it's either enhanced the human or just basically created these new processes, right? In this case, for example, in the past, we had a telephone operator, and then we moved to switchboards. And so the actual switchboards did not pretend to be a human, right? When you call, you don't get the switchboard operator. Nowadays, with these chat boxes like GP3, they're actually trying to emulate humans.
So it sounds like there's a bit of a fear of what could be. So you're just wanting to have that important conversation and say, hey, let's stop and take a look at what we're doing.
Yeah, so our biggest concern is that we are developing new technology either because we can or because we think it will lead to, let's say, more profits. And we're not pausing to think about the implications for our broader society. And we're not taking into account the cost of our societies, right? So there's a real cost for people being displaced, losing jobs that ultimately, goes against the economy, right? But we all suffer from that economically. And somehow that's not being thought of or being included into the decision-making process. That it's hard to anticipate what's going to happen, right? These are not linear changes. And so all of a sudden things shift and it's not quite clear what it means or what's going to happen. You've seen now people have been talking to these chat boxes and they've been getting some very curious responses, right? Something that the people who actually invented this never imagined this was going to happen, right? And if you take your example and some of these things are in charge and they can do things that we didn't imagine they were going to do, well, that can be somewhat problematic.
And one of the things that you're looking at is where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line on machine decision making? What did you find?
Exactly. I think that's the big thing to reflect and say, okay, we realize that this is going to have some positive impacts, but you know what? It could have some negative impacts. And just maybe the negative impacts might far exceed the positive impacts. And maybe we shouldn't do this.
Insightful conversation. Great talking with you, and thank you for sharing your findings. We'll have this interview posted on our website, cbsdetroit.com.
Thank you.